Hi guys, welcome back to this channel. I am Darian. Today I want to speak on some valuable wisdom that I have learned that I believe can help save you from extra heartbreak in your life. And that extra heartbreak I am talking about from others. A lot of times we have great expectations for other people in our lives, but to be honest, that is not fair to them and it is not fair to you, because eventually you will be disappointed. And then you also are putting expectations on people that may not even be in a place to fulfill the expectations and desires that you have of them. So this isn't just speaking about relationships. This is just about interactions with people in general. And this is also not a video like you don't need anybody, nothing like that. I absolutely do believe and know that we need people in our lives. Sometimes you will have some seasons that may seem a little more lonely or isolated than others. And then sometimes you'll have seasons where you will find your people. You will find groups of people to be around. And it could be long-lived or it could be short-lived. These things have helped me to have better relationships with people and approach those relationships in a different way that's healthier for me as a person. And I'm sure it is coming off in a healthier way towards other people. So first things first is you got to get rid of those extreme expectations. You expect people to, call you and talk to you at this certain time and just assume certain things. You got to get rid of those unhealthy expectations. Yes, you should be hearing from the people in your life that claim they are whatever, friends, that they love you. If you're in a relationship, you should be hearing from people, but you are not a mind reader. You cannot force people to contact you at every given moment that you want them to contact you. You have to understand that people have their own lives. You have your own life, and hopefully things are going and you have things going for yourself. So extra time is not always available to everybody and every day. Some people have certain things going on in life. And once I started my own life to get busier and realize like, oh, I started to grow as a woman and grow into different seasons. I started to realize how valuable time is. And as I've gotten older, how much time it just seems like goes by so fast. And so I personally am not always available for everyone, and I cannot expect everyone to always be available for me or any other unhealthy expectations that you may have of the people in your life. I know for me, I had a season where there was somebody in my life and they did not want me to have other friends or talk to anyone. And I was a lot younger in that season. So in that season, it may have felt kind of like, oh, they really love me, they really like me. But that is very unhealthy because we need other relationships. We need to rely on other people. And as a person, that person has to understand their importance and value in my life. And so them having this unhealthy expectation of me was not going to help was not going to help things, and actually could have if I would have. I've always been kind of like, steadfast and did what I knew was best for me to do. But if I would have agreed to that mindset, imagine the things that I could have been held back from or not been able to prosper from, because I would have thought I couldn't have anybody else in my life as a friend. I needed to stay strict like this. So it is not fair to put unhealthy expectations on other people. Not only will you more than likely be disappointed, but it could cause rifts and shifts in different relationships in life. And we also can't expect people to positively react to unhealthy expectations. Okay, let's move into the next thing. So the next thing that I'm going to give you some wisdom that I have learned in this thing called life is that people's hearts can change at any moment. And this isn't something that should keep you in fear or keep you from moving forward with relationships and people, but it's just a reality. I used to have a mindset where I just felt like everyone that came in my life, and it seemed like we were going to be perfect friends and, everything meshed well at one moment. I used to plan my life on a person being in my life forever. Okay? Till we old. Till we old and it's our time to go. We rolling together. I used to live my life in that mindset. Of course, again, I'm still young, but I was a lot younger, and I really thought that this is what life was supposed to be. You meet a person that you get along with, and that is forever. But once I started to grow and go within and become a better person, I started to see that relationships change, the people around me change. And honestly, it's not even always that they are consciously changing in a negative way. Whatever is inside of them may be causing them to react the way they react. And you have to respect that. Even when I was going through my time of actually walking through that process of elevation, as I was meeting people, I was even in a state of like, oh, okay, just met new people. This will be good. And I started to see that shortly after. I went through a series of times where things would change. People still were not able to handle the better version of me. And so the friendships and relationships that I was finding were short lived. But in my mind, I'm thinking we hit it off again, so it should be a long term thing. But you have to give people time, one, to get to know you, and you have to take the time to get to know other people. And you have to understand that people's heart can change towards you. Just because you met and hit it off does not mean that it's going to be a long-term thing. You have to give it time to see how people react to you, and multiple times. When you were in that low place, how are they reacting? When you are in that high place, how are they reacting? When they feel like y'all are on the same level, how are they reacting? Or when they feel like you have surpassed them, even though you may not have actually surpassed them, how do they react to what they perceive as far as your life? And there are so many different, dynamics to relationships with people. Doesn't mean that you have to completely cut them off, but I would recommend, if you see any negative things, to just be cautious. And if things continue to progress then and become unhealthy, then it's probably best to cut off the situation and move forward. If it's stuff that can be worked out, of course, I believe that if it can be worked out, work it out. There's been so many times where I have been caught off guard because I thought things were going well, and then it's just out of nowhere things change. But once I accepted that people's hearts can change at any moment towards me, towards anything, it doesn't even have to be me, that helped to free me from feeling this burden of things having to be one way forever. It allowed me to release whatever I may have felt about a person, that they were supposed to do this, or, things were supposed to go this way positively and stay this way. Once I released that burden off of me and allowed people to just be people, it allowed me to be free and just let life work itself out. Again, people come and go, and this could be even family situations. So I'm not saying that it has to be specifically friends or anything like that. You know when you feel good around people. You know when you're around people and it is healthy and it is causing you to prosper and move forward. And you know when something is unhealthy and not prosperous for you. Now, what you decide to do with that knowledge is your business, whether you hold on or let go or have some space. But I found when I let go of the negative, toxic things and patterns and people, and I just accept things for what they are, it made life so much easier for me. And moving forward in a place where I understand that people's heart can change at any moment has allowed me to not get so upset anymore about the way that life goes. It keeps me in a free place, knowing that what is meant to be, it's just gotta be. And what is not meant to be, as long as I allow, move in the right direction, then it's just not meant to be. Okay, you guys, so let's finish up with this next thing that I feel like is so valuable in life. Just understanding life and relationships and people, and just helping yourself to stay in a free place and in a good place as far as your relationships, helping you to avoid any disappointment and heartbreak from disappointment. And that is to understand that you cannot control another person. You cannot truly, fully control another person that does not want to be controlled. First of all, do you want to be controlled? No. So it doesn't feel good to have someone trying to control another person. And then next of all, is that usually when you try to control something, force something, it usually ends up backfiring. The person probably ends up doing the other thing or going the other direction. So you cannot control someone to be a good friend to you. You cannot control someone to love you in a relationship. You cannot control. Honestly, I'm finding a lot of things, just life in life, we're not supposed to operate from a place of trying to control. It is so stressful. It takes so much energy to try to control things. And I get it. I still am learning to live from a place of releasing control. So no judgment here. I get it. But as I started to live my life and grow, I started to realize trying to stay in control is so stressful. It takes so much energy. Life is still going to happen the way that life is still going to happen. You cannot force someone to stay with you forever. You cannot force someone to be friends with you forever and be the perfect friend. You cannot force yourself to get that perfect job that you feel like will give you the houses and the cars. You cannot force life. Life will have its different situations that happen, and some of those situations you're going to have no control over. And if you're coming from a place where you feel like you constantly have to have control over everything in life, it can make it difficult for you to move on and move forward in life when those times come, when those things happen that you have no control over, because you feel even more like you have lost control while trying to keep control. Honestly, feel like sometimes we try to have control over everything in life and control every outcome of life is because we feel a lack of control, is because something has happened that has made us feel like we didn't have control over the situation. And so now moving forward, we are going to make sure things go the way we want them to go. We are not leaving any room for things to go a different way. So I do have compassion for that mindset. I do have compassion for that heart. And I will just leave this with you. Once I have just leaned into letting control go of things and just letting life be life, things have progressed in a better way. I'm able to relax and be free and rest in the changes of life, because changes of life are inevitable. It's gonna happen. Whether it's good, whether it's not what you expected and you consider it not so good, life has its changes and life can come at you in all different directions. But specifically staying more so on the topic of this video, when it comes to your relationships with people and when it comes to those around you, maintaining that place of not trying to control them, allow people to be people. If somebody is going to love you, somebody wants to love you, they will love you. If somebody wants to treat you right, they will treat you right. Somebody wants to be a friend to you, they will be a friend to you. You cannot force somebody to do these things. They may pretend for a little while, but the true nature and heart of that person is going to come out when it comes to you. And it doesn't make you any less important, doesn't make you any less of a good person or worthy or valuable, but you have to respect where people are. Even if it's in a terrible place, even if they've done terrible things, you have to respect where people are and you have to respect what people can give you. You cannot force somebody to give you. And you don't want anyone to force anything for you. You don't want anyone to force liking you, loving you, being around you, being happy for you. You want things to be genuine. You want reactions from people. You want the people around you to be genuine. You are worthy of more than some fake love, okay? So I just want to leave you with that. You can't control how anyone deals with you. You can control by keeping yourself away from them, okay? You can control to an extent of what you allow yourself into, okay? So once you see switch up, once you see changes and you see this ain't good, this is bad, this is not healthy for my life, this is gonna cause my life to go in a direction that it should not go to, you have the power to get up and walk away and change things for yourself. So These three things have been pivotal in my life and have helped me with moving forward in relationships to avoid heartbreak, avoid disappointment, because I thought that things were going to go a certain way, or people should react a certain way, or do things a certain way. It starts with me, with how my life goes. Okay, so yeah, I hope you have a great day, and I thank you for watching. Bye.